better than before, live online. I'm Dave Edelstein, your host, here to talk to you about all things mindful, communicative, and connecting, being and relating, getting along with other people, uh, and all of that part of life where we don't just live in a vacuum, but connect to others. Uh, this evening, I thought I'd talk a little bit about where I was last night. I didn't broadcast last night, excuse me, please. I was out at the movies, which is something I don't get to do very often because I live in Ecuador and we have movie theaters here, but we don't get a wide variety of pictures, and often they're months delayed from when they come out in the United States. And so, in fact, I saw a movie that was much delayed here. It was The Shape of Water. And I did enjoy the movie. I was a little surprised how sort of lightweight it is, but there were definitely things in it that made me think about questions of communicating and connecting. In the movie, we see a number of occasions where people simply refuse to connect with others, and where a number of people refuse to connect to the sort of central, mysterious character because they're different from them, or they don't like the way they look, or they're not my type of person. And that communication and connection with these individuals who are different really, it doesn't even break down. It never occurs. And I think it's worth thinking for a moment. The movie is very blunt and simplistic in its representation of this problem, but I think it is worth thinking about in terms of what our initial reactions to new people are, and our sense that, oh, no, I couldn't communicate not with that person. That would be one thing. Maybe I'm shy. No, I couldn't communicate with him, or I couldn't communicate with her because there's some thing about them that intimidates us or makes us uncertain whether our communication would be welcome. Something like that is more understandable. But where we look at someone and say, oh, no, I can't communicate with that type of person. I could never communicate with somebody who looks like that, who is a member of such and such group, who holds a particular political opinion. That we look at people and we judge them, and before we've made any attempt to communicate with them, we've already cut them out of our lives. And this is a problem. There's so much we don't know about other people. What someone is on the outside, or what someone is politically, what someone is in terms of religion, what someone is externally, may have very little to do with who they are as a person. It may only be one thing. Even a person with whom we disagree strongly in one area probably has some aspect to their personality that would benefit from exploring. Even if our conclusion is, wow, this is somebody whose head is in such a difficult place for me that I can't relate to them. At least we understand why. At least we've made the attempt. At least we've reached out. At least there's been an attempt at connection. It's not just a summary judgment that, oh, no. Someone like that, I could never talk to. It's impossible. Could never do it. And think, in terms of the dating and marriage seen. So many people say, oh, I couldn't date him, or I couldn't date her. They're not my type. They're not your type. That for you to even consider getting to know someone, they have to be of a certain kind on the surface, that when you look at them, or the first words out of their mouth, that it has to be like that, or you can't consider relating to them. That's going to present problems, because if you have that kind of stark preconception before you even start talking to somebody, before you'll even consider somebody, well, let's say you find your type. Let's say you're fortunate and you find your type and you marry that person who is of your type. Some day in the future, when you are already married to this person, you will find that just because they were of that type does not mean that they exist to conform to your expectations. Their outward appearance or their typing characteristics is not all of who they are. And they may grow and change. And what will you do then? When you're all hung up on the idea that they are your type instead of that they are their own person. We have to connect with people as individuals. We have to reach out and find out more about people than just what they look like, just what they appear to be on the surface. In the movie, let me return to the movie, The Shape of Water, which I enjoyed. Everybody's hung up that they have to examine the amphibian man to help the space program. It turns out that the character has fantastic abilities that have nothing to do with going to outer space. People only see him through one lens. They miss more than 99% of what he is. So when you meet someone new, today, tomorrow, the next day, weekend's coming, it's a good chance to meet new people. Try not to draw conclusions about them or make judgments about them or decide about them in the moment that you meet them. Let them, in the words of my favorite Zen koan, let them reveal the great treasure inside them. Help them do that. And then you really may find something marvelous and unexpected and of great value. Thanks very much for listening. Hope you tune in again. We'll talk again tomorrow evening. Good night.